Video 106, the EdgeUP COM Tab. The 100 series EdgeUP videos deal with technical training. 101 goes through downloading and installing EdgeUP desktop app. If you've not done this, then watch 101 EdgeUP installation. Return once the installation is complete and the app is installed. The COM tab is dedicated to working with eZi-COM IO and eZi-COM FCU family of products. This tab is for configuration of those devices. Control blocks are excluded as they are common across a number of families and will be handled as a separate topic in a separate video. Let's get started. I've already opened the EdgeUp app on the COM tab. Fairly straightforward. EdgeUp, double click the icon and the app will open. Click on the COM tab. We'll go through the different groups and then come back and go into detail. The groups that are available are health, tells you the health of the connected device. There are system functions. There are register table rights, log verbosity, information assistant, info, and that tells us what device is currently connected. Obviously there's no device connected at the moment. And then the IO configurator. This is really important. The screen allows you to configure the input types and output types, plus things like baud rates. If you're using BACnet, what is the max master? You are then able to write the configuration to personality and populate the configuration from personality. We'll go into more detail of that just now. So let's get started and go through each group. The health of the device connected comes from the health flags. If you read the IO module user manual, you will be able to understand what the health flags are. Just tells you whether everything is working on the device, and if not, what is not working and where it failed. First thing I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and open the COM port. You can see that I've got a IO DOR4 connected, has no license, and that's its MAC address. I'll go back to COM. You'll see that in the info window, that needs to be populated. If that is not populated when you're downloading or following some controller specific functions, it could come up with a warning. If I go and ask for the health of the device, it says that there's no flag set and everything is healthy. If there is a problem, in other words, the ERAM is not working, flash is not working, and you don't have a successful boot, it will tell you at this point here what the problem is. Let's go on to system functions. If you have a look at reboot, it reboots the device. That does a factory reset of the device. Essentially, it deletes the files on the controller. And when the factory reset is executed, default values will be written. Configuration reset, it writes defaults to the fsys.txt file on the device. ERAM system, this only executes if the regeSys file exists. It'll read the values into your ERAM so that you can initialize the ERAM. The user reset, if you want to be able to have user values initialized into the ERAM, you click that button. If you have a regeUser.txt file on the device, it will then read that file and write the ERAM initialized values. Register table to SPIFs. So this is the opposite way around, where that was writing the file into ERAM. This is the other way around. This is where you are reading the particular register location or memory table or register table, and you are writing it to the correct file. There are two methods of doing it. The one is write on the next register write that comes into the device. And why have we done this? So if you if you send this command and then you go and change a register, it will download that register that you have changed. It will save that register that you have changed to the correct file, for example, regfsys.txt. The all writes the entire memory space, so that writes the single register that you've changed into the file, and that writes the entire space into the file. So that will be for flash system, ERAM system, then that is flash system all, ERAM system all, that is flash user next register, in other words that's flash user, that is ERAM user, and that is flash user and ERAM user. If we've got a log verbosity, this is the log information that comes through on the console. You can either set the log verbosity in the register table, which means that next time there's a reboot, the log verbosity returns to what is set in ERAM, or you can write the log verbosity to ERAM, and that means that you will continue that log verbosity through device restarts. Information Assistant, they are screenshots of the different areas of registers or data types. They are separate screens that you can open and keep available to you, and they're just used for reference. Right, let's get to the interesting part, the I/O configurator. The first thing you need to do is select the I/O model, and that will enable the correct I/O that is populated on hardware in that model. So we are going to be looking at a DOR4 because that is what we've got connected. Settings at the top are associated with port 1 and port 2. Board is self-explanatory, address self-explanatory. The turnaround and the time offset are associated with the communication parameters, how fast the turnaround time is. Read the user manual to understand these settings. Instance and max master are associated with BACnet, and BACnet is only supported on port 1, hence those parameter values are only available there. Boot delay is to enable the device to boot up and the I/O to stabilize before enabling control blocks. Digital input threshold and debounce are the configuration values that determine the response of a digital input. Read the user manual for more information. The same as analog input threshold and response. They are the parameters that you can adjust to configure an analog input for application specific response. Generally leave those as defaults. Write config to personality file and populate configuration from personality file. If I write config, this configuration for the enabled I/O is written to the personality.txt, not written to file yet. You need to save it as if you want to write it to file. Populate configuration from personality. The first thing you need to do is you need to open the correct file of the correct type, and that's the fsys.txt. Open it. Once the fsys.txt is present here, then you can go and populate the configuration, and it will populate the configuration based on the fsys.txt. If you read a device, in other words, you read a UI8 and you have DOR4 selected, you will note that the fields will be populated but might not necessarily be enabled. You have to first of all ensure that you've got the correct I/O model before you read the configuration, and you're reminded of that. Clear I/O simply clears all the I/O so that you can go and select your new model that you'd like to work with. So in this case, I'm going to select a UI4 U04, and you'll see that the fields for a UI4 U04 are enabled. So let's go through a couple of configurations. Terminal 1, let's go and have a look. it is a digital out, and you'll see that you can invert the digital out. The rest of these fields are not enabled. They are automatically enabled or disabled based on the type of point that you select. So if I go and select that, and then for input 5 I go and select an analog input, or I select a digital input pulse, you'll see that these fields are populated. The associated configuration is not populated, it's there for information only, and that is a bit conversion from the invert and edge flag. So each of the inputs or outputs, you can go and select the correct type. Make sure that the terminal that you are working on and configuring ties up to the terminal on the I/O device. So a UO4, terminal 1 to 4, is universal output. UO4, UO4, there we go. And then for the inputs, I'm going to select digital, I'm going to select pulse, I'm going to select runtime, and I'm going to select a 10K thermistor. Okay, so we've now looked at all of the options. If we want to now save this configuration, I want to write configuration to personality. It will be written to the personality text box on the personality tab. There you will see that the regfsys with all of the configurations is written to the personality.txt on the personality tab, and whichever is the current active project, you can save the file into the current active project as regfsys.txt. So if we go and have a look at the fsys.txt, and I go and have a look and I set the active project to the UI4 UO4, and I go and save as regfsys.txt, I will save this, I'm not going to do it, I will save this configuration into that device. If I open the configuration, I can now go back and read the populated configuration from personality, and it will populate the personality based on the configuration in the personality text file.